Hey guys, this is Cam from 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another Higehiro episode review for you guys. As man, what a very tense episode. Listen, this was probably the best episode of the season up to this point. Next week is going to be the season finale. So it's going to be very interesting to see where the season finale is going to take, but I think I have a feeling with what the season finale is going to be, especially at the end of the episode. But this was probably the best episode of the season. And again, how many times have fans of this show said Yoshida is best boy? Or Yoshida's a great guy? Because listen, Yoshida is a great guy. He is best boy. He's best boy of the season. My goodness. And can we just say this? I think I'm all in agreement that Sayu has the worst mother ever. Like, this is the type of mom that I probably would not be giving Mother's Day's presents to. I'm sorry. Even though what her mom did at least have some semblance of some sense to be like, okay, fine, I'll deal with this. Her mom is honestly dead to me. So, yeah, let's get into this episode. So, this is Higehiro episode 12. And essentially this whole episode takes place in essentially one room, and it's just a conversation between Sayu, Yoshida, and really Sayu's mother. Now, obviously, we know from last week when Sayu first entered the house, she got slapped. So, yeah, great way for your mom to welcome you back home, right? Now, after that slap, Sayu's mom is like, okay, why'd you leave? Why'd you, run away and stuff like that? Because there were so many rumors that got brought up for you leaving the house and everything. Also, she takes a look at Yoshida and she's like, who the hell are you? Like, why, what are you doing here? And stuff like that. Anyways, eventually goes into this, this little room area where they're all sitting at a desk, or at the table. And Sayu's mom asks, what was Sayu trying to accomplish by running away and stuff like that? And she even asked Yoshida, like, what business do you have here? Like, you're not even family. You're not even supposed to be here. This is something between me, Sayu, and our family. Nothing for you to do this. Now, Sayu responds to that question by saying that Sayu's mother doesn't understand how Sayu feels. Essentially, Sayu's like, listen, you're giving me no time to speak, to explain myself. You're not understanding from where I'm coming from and stuff like that. Obviously, and throughout the entire, conversation, Sayu's mother is like, I don't care what you say and stuff like that, which Sayu's in the right. She's not even giving Sayu the time to speak and be like, hey, this is the reason why I ran away and stuff like that. Now, again, like I said earlier, she also gets on Yoshida for staying with Sayu because she feels like he has no family business. He has no business dealing with her family. Now, the thing is, it gets to the point where, Sayu's mom starts to constantly berate not only Yoshida, but mostly her and everything. And then that's when Sayu kind of steps into the whole thing. And she's like, the reason why I did all this is because, she says she hates when her mom insults the people that are around her, like essentially her friends. And then she says the reason why she really ran away is because she was trying to get away from her because she hates her. And again, I guess you can say it's understandable from Sayu's point of saying, like, listen, you never understood me. You never really loved me as a daughter. So why it would make complete sense why I would run away. You blame me for everything. You blame me for killing my own friend, and I didn't even do anything. You think that's my fault? No. And, Sayu goes on to say, see, the problem is with you is the thing compared to Yoshida actually treated me like family. You didn't treat me like somebody that is welcome, that is family. And this is when Sayu's mother kind of goes on the deep end and kind of says some words that honestly, by this time, I was like, yeah, I think it's a done deal. Sayu's mom is a bitch. I don't care how much they try to make me have sympathy for her and try to have something for her, to have something to respect her. After she said this line, which essentially, Sayu's mom's like, you don't understand what I had to go through or how much I lost because of this, you running away. I wish I never gave birth to you in the first place. And I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's the tip of, it's like, if a parent says that, I'm sorry, I don't care. There's no way you can, there's no way you can get any sympathy from me, any redemption from me, if you're going to say to your own kid to their face that you wish you never gave birth to them, because that's essentially saying, I wish you never had life. Like, that's awful. Like, if that was me, if I was in Yoshida's shoes, which Yoshida did a much better job at reacting, because we see Yoshida was almost about to throw this glass of like tea on Sayu's mother for after what she said, but obviously Yoshida, he calmed down. He was like, okay, no, I can't take this approach. Otherwise, I'm getting myself in a whole other heap of trouble. Because guess what? He could probably potentially got arrested for maybe assault. They could have went it that way and everything. And stuff like that. And he definitely would have been kicked out of the house. They definitely would have called the cops on him for doing that. But he calms down. He's like, okay, I can't do that. I'm gonna take this a different approach and stuff like that. But if it was me, I think 99% of people probably would have got that glass of water or glass of tea or whatever that drink was and just threw it on her and probably walked out the door and been like, fine, you want to be like this to your daughter? Fine, I guess I'll do this. And I was even there, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, Yoshida, just say you'll take custody of her, man. Can't you transfer the papers over? I don't think you can, but we're to the point where he can get it to where he can adopt Sayu. But again, we know that's not gonna happen and stuff like that. But you have Yoshida inner monologuing within himself. It's like, I felt angry, but I felt calm at the same time. And that's when he's taking a different approach, and he's taking a more diplomatic approach by trying to talk to Sayu's mother. And I love the inner monologuing where he makes the mention of how, it's not a child's fault to be born, by a parent. The thing is, these children have to grow up, and when they grow up into adults, that's when they can learn to become responsible for themselves. Now, obviously, as you grow up, you have to learn of your responsibilities and what you have to do being responsible. But I like the fact that, he says the more you need that guiding person to teach you about that responsibility, to teach you the life lessons they need to learn in their life. So by the time they grow up, they're fully responsible for themselves and stuff like that. I really did like that line by Yoshida. Now, Yoshida tells her mom that, yes, you are Sayu's mother. And guess what? That's not going to change, regardless how much you say you wish you never gave birth to her or how much you hate her. She's going to be your daughter at the end of the day. And you're going to have to be the person to take care of her. He tells her, look, I've been taking care of her for all this time and stuff like that. And the thing is, if you don't care about Sayu like that, then I wouldn't mind taking care of her myself and bringing her back home with me, and I can watch over her. But I know I can't do that because guess what? I'm not in her family. I'm not a relative of hers. So to me, I can't do anything, because if she ever were to get hurt, I can't do anything. I would just pay the price if I'm not the rightful person in custody, and I could get obviously charged and arrested for that. You would have to be the people that, or have to be the people that help her, pick her up, and the people that take care of her and stuff like that. Sorry for that weird, obnoxious cut. But he was saying, listen, I can't do anything. That's not how it works. As much as I would like to help her if she were to get hurt, or if she's alone, or anything bad that happens to her, I would love to help her, but I can't. You guys you as the mother has to be the person to take care of her, be there for your daughter and stuff like that. And that's when we see Yoshida essentially get on his knees and he begs to Sayu's mom, like, hey, please raise Sayu to stand alone on her 2 feet. And then that's when Issa, her brother, I think this is the first time we hear his real name. So Issa, Sayu's brother, essentially sees this and he's like, mother, please do this. Please do what this man asks. Like, please take care of my sister and everything. And this is when Sayu's mom just goes off the deep end. She's like, get the fuck out of my house. Just go. Just so I can't handle this. I'm done. Get out. And she has like some sort of mental period breakdown. And I'm like, are you serious, man? Okay. So anyways, she kicks them out of the house, Sayu and Yoshida. And then we have a pretty interesting, nice scene between Sayu and Yoshida. And essentially we see Yoshida crying. Like, this is one of the first times he's actually shown emotion around Sayu. And Sayu's wondering, like, why, he's crying. And obviously Yoshida, like any rightful person who's seeing this whole family matter transpire, he's like, I thought it was, like, from what I heard from your story, I thought, yes, it was bad. I didn't think it was this bad. And that's because, obviously Yoshida's like, she has a whole parent that doesn't even care about her like that. Like, doesn't even care about her like a parent should. Like, this, she's in a worse position than I thought she originally was. Now I understand why she ran away from home and did all this stuff. So what happens? So, Yoshida tells Sayu, like, look, I wanted to get so mad, but I know if I lost my temper out there, I'd think bad things were to happen. But, he tells her, like, just get mad at her. Why can't you just get mad and fire back at her? And obviously that's when Sayu's like, I was mad. But by you stepping in, it made me feel a lot better. Essentially saying, like, I was about to get upset and do something, but because you stepped in and you said the words you said, it made me feel a lot better. Obviously from Sayu's point, she's like looking at Yoshida and what he said to her mom, and she knew, like, this guy really does care about me. And, compared to my mother, he's a person that wants me in his life. And he's a person that actually treats me like what a parent should treat him and stuff like that. And that's when Sayu tells her, like, look, I'm going to be okay. I want to try to be on my own till I can stand on my own 2 feet and everything. And you have this nice moment to where they're holding hands. Obviously, people who do not, I guess, like them be having some sort of romantic thing together, obviously, maybe, are kind of throwing fits, which I'll get into my prediction how the series is probably going to end. And you just have this nice moment of them looking at the starry sky. Eventually, Issa comes out and he makes a funny comment, or an interesting comment, saying, like, you guys seem very close to each other, huh? And I'm like, oh. And they kind of get up and they kind of look away, like, it's a typical look of two people that clearly have feelings for one another, and they just, I guess you could say, hide it. So essentially what Issa says as the episode, nearing the end of the episode, he says that essentially Sayu first has to stay at home till she graduates from high school. And as long as she doesn't cause problems for her mom, or doesn't really cause problems, her mom won't bother her. And the thing is, Sayu's like, okay, that's fair game. Even though Issa's like, look, I know I can't really guarantee all that because those are just words, but I just hope to instill a little hope in there. And obviously Sayu, she does says, like, no, I have to do this on my own. I have to find some way to make this relationship with my mother work out. So obviously Sayu wants to at least have some peace between her mother and at least have somewhat of a relationship with her if she can. And that's when Issa tells Yoshida, like, if it wasn't for you, Yoshida, my mom would have never came to this conclusion and it would have probably been a lot worse. Like, she kind of gave in to you with what you said and stuff like that. And that's when we see Issa. And I said this. I think I said this the last few weeks. I thought the brother, when we first were introduced to the brother, would be like the dick type of brother. like that's what I thought. Like the brother that's just an a-hole, where you have the entire family just treating Sayu like a bunch of, treating Sayu like a nobody essentially. But the brother is actually like one of probably the best, if not the best, family member in Sayu's family, because he tells you, she's like, man, I really did wish I had the balls to do what you did, because you went on your knees and begged to my mom. I wish I had just done that a long time ago, because maybe things might have been different if that was the case, and stuff like that. So I even have more tremendous respect for the brother, because the brother actually does care and give a shit about Sayu, unlike the mom, and I guess you can even say like Sayu's father too, and stuff like that. Now, the thing is, Yoshida does ask Issa, like, hey, can I talk to your mother one last time? So they do have a talk before the episode ends. And Sayu's mother asks, like, obviously, you didn't do anything to Sayu, did you? And he's like, no, I would not. I wouldn't even dare. I didn't even do anything. I just took care of her and watched out after her. And essentially, that's when Sayu's mother's like, why did you take care of my daughter? Why'd you take in my daughter? And essentially, Yoshida essentially says like, well, when I just saw her on the street, I just had that feeling like I had to do something. Essentially, he's saying like, I had to do something. I couldn't just let her stay there on the street just alone. And that's when she says, look, we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna talk to her. But the one thing I want out of you is I want you to leave the house immediately tomorrow morning and go back to Tokyo. And that's where the episode ends off. And next week, we're going to get the season finale. We're going to get the season finale, probably series finale of Higehiro. And the thing is going to be, and the thing is, how I feel like Higehiro is going to end is, obviously, it's just like what I probably thought was going to happen. And again, it might be to the dismay of some people who watch the show, but I think they're going to go the romantic ending between Sayu and Yoshida. In other words, we already saw that Sayu's gonna stay at home till she graduates, and what she's gonna probably do now that Yoshida's also gonna leave in the morning and go back to Tokyo, what's probably gonna happen is the way, because I never read the light novel for the story. What I'm guessing is happening is we're going to get a time skip next episode, to where it's been probably a few years or so. Sayu goes back to Tokyo, is at obviously knocks on Yoshida's doorstep, and that's when we see an older Sayu and we see an older Yoshida, and then obviously Yoshida's gonna know, like, he's gonna be like, Sayu, and obviously now that she's older, she's gonna be essentially, she's free to do whatever she wants. So she can essentially live with Yoshida. And if they're going to take the romantic route, they're probably going to more than likely hook up Yoshida with Sayu. And honestly, if that's the case, I would have no problem with that, because it would make, honestly, complete sense. Have Sayu get older, and if you want to take it the direction of them being hooking up together, and being a couple, then you wait till Sayu is older, and then guess what? You can pull that card. It's the same thing like they did last week with Koi Kimu, if you were watching that anime as well, where you saw in the final episode where Ryo and Ichika essentially came to the decision that they need each other. And essentially Ryo said, I'll wait for you to get older, and then that's when we can take our relationship more serious and stuff like that. So I feel like that's gonna have that type of thing, where she's gonna live with him now, and that's what's gonna happen at the end. Again, like I said, I think it would be honestly a pretty solid way to end the episode. I think it's pretty predictable at that point. That's what's going to happen in next week in the finale. So yeah, and again, like I said, I feel like it's gonna be, I'd be totally cool with that ending, and it would be a nice, sweet ending, because guess what? Obviously, Sayu goes back to Yoshida after all these years, because he was the one person that took care of her out of everybody else that did. So I guess Goto and Yoshida is probably not going to happen, because it seems like it's going to be Yoshida x Sayu that's happening, which If we're being honest, we could probably see this a mile away. It was like kind of a romance slash slice of life anime here. So yeah, but it was a good episode. I very much enjoyed it. Again, I still hate the mother. I really do. The mother's just despicable. And other than that, that's kind of it. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Higehiro. As well as, again, do not spoil the ending, but how do you think it's going to end? As well as hit the subscribe button if you want to see the final episode review of Higehiro, as well as getting any other anime reviews going forward for the rest of the channel. Anyways, till then, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'll see you guys in till then. Peace.